You are now listening to the Gospel of Alex. Alex, drop those scriptures.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of the Elite Fleet. And I gotta talk about this Superman movie because I just did a video not that long ago, right? And we were discussing a recent survey that broke down what women found most and least attractive about men. And I was surprised to see that being a comic book fan was number one. I've heard of a bunch of things that men like that women don't like, right? Like women not liking men playing video games, or women not liking men who are too into sports. Like they like if you play sports, but watching it is a whole other thing. I've heard about women hating men watching sports all day, It's just a whole bunch of different stuff, going out to the bar and getting drunk all the time. Things like that. But I had never in my life before seen so many women who seem to be turned off by men simply liking comic books. Like, who even cares? And I said to myself, I wonder why that is. Like, when did this change happen? Because the things I mentioned wasn't even on the list. I mean, clubbing was on the list, so I guess you could call clubbing and, going to the bar the same thing. But video games were annihilated from the list. I guess comic books somehow took the place of video games as the number one thing that gets on women's nerves, which is amazing to me. And I'm like, damn, what happened? And then this Superman movie came out, right? And I think I mentioned in another video, right? Like, me and my boys are going to go see it. We're not in a rush. We're going on Saturday. It's really about just having some drinks and having some camaraderie with the guys. Go to the movies, with a little bit of tipsiness in us and have a good time as guys, Watching some superhero shit. It's nostalgic. But I was just watching the commentary surrounding the movie from a lot of the grown-ass men on the internet. And I realized, you know what? I can see why women ranked being a comic book fan as the number one turnoff now. Like, now I get it. I didn't know how annoying, childish, juvenile, and weird a lot of comic book fans were. Because I tend to kind of be in my own bubble. Like, when I log off of YouTube, right? Now, YouTube, I'm in the dating space. And then I have another channel where I talk about sports, and then I have one more channel where I talk about business and investments, because that's what I do in real life. But once I log off YouTube, I'm off YouTube, right? I'm unplugged. So I'm in real life, hanging out with my real friends, hanging out with my real girl, doing real stuff. So I'm unplugged. I don't really go to the comic book, anime, video game side like that. I play video games, I like comic books, I like anime, but I don't go to that side. So when I was just seeing this war, right? And I'm like, you know what? I can see how this is a turnoff. Because there's a lot of things that's going on in that space. You got people calling people gun bots if they like it. And I'm like, what the hell is a gun bot? You got people calling you in a Snyder code. Apparently they want Henry Cavill back. And I don't understand why as a grown man, you're so attached to another grown man. Like, it's bad enough to be super attached to a comic book character to the point where you're going to argue over him in the first place, right? The debate is one thing, but the argument is crazy. But it's another thing to be so attached to an actor. Not even the character, but the actor. That you're arguing, I'm not going to watch no Superman that doesn't have Henry Cavill because that's my Superman. Dudes are saying homoerotic stuff in regards to this new movie that I don't even think that they're realizing is gay. Like, dudes is out here talking about some David Corn sweat doesn't have the muscle mass. Look at him, he's skinny. He's Superboy. You don't look like a man. Henry Cavill was a man. I can understand women saying this. Why are grown-ass men going around comparing muscle texture and looks of another man? What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? So besides people fiending to get another man who they deem to be more muscular and attractive back in the role, which is sassy as hell. You want to talk about a sassy man? That's some sassy shit. Y'all dudes who want Henry Cavill back because he looks more masculine and like Superman are crazy to me. Alright? Then you got the dudes calling you the Snyder Cult and gun bots, and the fact that there's even two groups that are this dedicated, again, to our men. Because you're in the Snyder Cult, that means you're dedicated to Zack Snyder, who is a man. So you're pledging allegiance to a man. If you're a gun bot, guess what you're doing? You're pledging allegiance to a man who might be a PDF file. But that's neither here nor there, right? Allegedly. That's neither here nor there. Then you have the dudes who are mad and making long-ass videos and going on tangents because they feel like the new Superman movie is for kids. You're angry that a movie about a white man who flies around in trunks with a cape on, blows his breath and can create a tornado, blows his breath and can freeze things, right? He's faster than a speeding bullet, right? He can't be shot, can't really be hurt, is recharged by the sun, has laser vision, he can fly, all this stuff. And you guys are mad at this for kids. When did we get to a point where superheroes and comic books weren't for children? They were always supposed to be for children. That's how they started. Now, that's not me saying you can't take a comic book and make it more adult. Of course, you can take a comic book and make it more adult, right? Like, I'm more of a Batman fan. Have always been more of a Batman fan, right? Like, if I have a list of my favorite superheroes, I have to go Batman, Spider-Man, then it would be like a tie between Iron Man and the Flash. I don't know who I like better between those two, really. Wolverine's in there too, so it's like a three-way tie. But either way, Batman 1 and Spider-Man 2, I know that's what's at. Batman, because of his world, right? Like, he's dealing with criminal underlords, so you can make more mature stuff with him. He's dealing with maniacs like the Joker, right? And Harley Quinn, or the criminal underworld with Two-Face and Penguin. So if you want to get more serious with his world, you can do that. Superman ain't never been serious, guys. Like, it's never. Again, this is a dude who flies around in a bright blue suit with trunks on the outside and has all these ridiculous ass powers. There is nothing not childish about Superman. Now, that doesn't mean you can't like Superman, right? But to say, oh, this movie's being made for kids. It shouldn't be made for kids. It should be made for me, a grown-ass, middle-aged man. You don't want the movie to be a movie people can take their families to. You want it to be a movie for grown, middle-aged men that bores the shit out of kids, that doesn't identify at all with women, just middle-aged men. What sense does that make? When I fell in love with Batman, I fell in love with Batman as a child, not an adult. It just carried on in my adulthood. Same thing with Spider-Man. They just carried on in my adulthood. How are you going to build a new generation of fans if you're catering to the old ones? Like, what is wrong with you guys? If it's childish and it's for kids, so what? Have a beer, have some whiskey, or if you don't drink, have a Coke and a smile and shut up and just enjoy the movie. Turn your brain off. It's not that serious. But to get mad that a comic book movie is for kids because you want to claim stake to it is insane. And I can completely understand why a woman might see all this shit that I just mentioned and say, yeah, I'm not giving you no pussy. Like, I'm not even a woman, but I can understand how if I was a woman and I was just online, right? And let's just say I had kids, or I don't even have kids. I just want to, I like Superman as a woman. A lot of women like Superman. I realize a lot of men like Batman, a lot of women like Superman. That's not to say that men don't like Superman, but a lot of women like Superman. I realize that. I think it's because of the whole Lois Lane thing and Superman being somewhat of a saint to an extent. I get that he's in love, but I'm just saying he's more. I can see why women don't particularly like Batman and they like Superman is my point. But either way, right? I can imagine being a woman and you going online, you're looking up Superman, you're seeing grown-ass men. You're a Snyder bot. You're a gun bot. This movie's for kids and it should be for me. It shouldn't be for kids. It should be for me. I'm 45. Make it for me. And I can see how you'd be like, yeah, there's no way I'm giving these dudes no pussy. Like, dudes is online arguing. Dudes is online crying. Dudes is online running around in grown-ass men in Superman suits. It ain't Halloween. These dudes going to the theater in full costume. It ain't Halloween. Like, what are we doing? Should be made for me. I can completely see how a woman can be sitting back like this, looking at all that stuff like, yeah, I'm not about to give none of these dudes no pussy. And I can see how, just watching how y'all act nowadays, and how invested y'all are in this, I can see a woman being like, do you like comic books? And you saying yeah, and her just cutting you off. And I remember I mentioned before, I have a short with this one dude. He asked this girl if she liked anime, because anime was high on the list too. And she told him yeah. He asked her if she watched Naruto, and she told him yeah, and he just started going off. Like, he just started going on and on and on about how much he loved Naruto and how he feels like animes are algorithm for real life because he feels like he's Naruto and he started shooting off Rasugans or whatever you call those spirit bombs or those energy balls that they use in Naruto. I didn't really watch Naruto like that, but I think it's a Rasugan, but whatever. He starts doing all this shit in the middle of the cafe. They're at a cafe, he's doing it in the middle of the cafe. And of course she's embarrassed, like, bro, what are you doing? Just like you would be embarrassed if your man said, yo, you want to go see Superman with me? You're like, sure. And then he shows up in a goddamn costume. You would be embarrassed. You'd be like, bro, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is this? I'm not going in there with you dressed like this. And she's like, yeah, I never wanted to talk to the dude anymore. And this was a cute girl, in shape, great demeanor, just didn't want to talk to him anymore because he took it too damn far. Y'all take it too damn far. And in my head, when I heard that story, I thought it was so ridiculous. And she just must have got unlucky, right? But watching how y'all acting online over this movie, I'm like, maybe this is more normal than I think. Oh, I'm crazy. And again, look, the nerds hate when I make videos like this, right? And I get it, because they're like, oh, it's already a stigma on men who like anime and comic books and video games. And it sucks when another man comes on and makes fun of us. But you guys have to understand, I like comics, I like anime, I like video games. But you don't have to be a dork. You don't have to be a nerd. Like, you know what I mean? You can still have some swag and some masculinity to yourself and some pride as a man. God damn. You know, you don't have to be in a cult or begging for another grown man to come back because you like his six pack. You ain't got to do all that. Or it's saying it shouldn't be for kids because it should be for you. You ain't got to do all that. If they came out with a Batman movie and it was childish, it would be no problem for me. Because I get it. You got to build a new generation of Batman fans. That's how they got me. So it's like, I would support that. That's fine. I can go turn my brain off and laugh at a kid's movie. First of all, I went and watched, me and my girl went and watched Inside Out too. I have no problem with kids' movies. Kids' movies are some of the best movies. I still like Lilo and Stitch to this day. So I just don't get it. Y'all take it too far. That's the problem. Y'all take it too far. Like, sometimes y'all make me ashamed to say I like this type of stuff because I don't want to be associated with y'all. Y'all way up here. Bring it down. Calm down. Sit down. But needless to say, everything around this movie has made me understand why a woman might see all this and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not really trying to build nothing with a dude who acting like that. Unless he got money. If you're one of these dudes who are in these cults or crying over this movie or trolling over this movie, trying to ruin the movie. You got people in Reddit making whole damn groups talking about a plan to sabotage the movie because it's for kids. If you're going that far and you're in any of that bullshit, you better be rich. Because if you're not, there ain't no way you're getting no ass. Like, you're done. It's just no way. It's impossible. I can't see it. So, needless to say, I understand now. I'm a believer, ladies. I get where y'all coming from. I see it. I understand. These dudes is wild. With that being said, y'all, I am Alex and I am out. Peace.